Hey everyone, in today's video we're going to talk about how to make pockets. Now, the most popular way that I've seen and that I've made for card pockets is the T-pocket style. The way the T-pocket style works is we cut out a pocket in the shape of a T, like this. And we do that so that we can sew down our pocket onto our wallet, then take another T-shaped pocket and layer that over top. That allows us to keep our edges a single layer of leather. In practice, using T-pockets like this, your wallet will look something like this. The cards will lay nice and flat, the edges will be nice and slim, and you can do some skiving to really make this a nice, slim profile that works really great. I mean, it's a classic design, it works really well. If you want to skive these down, usually this is what you do. Now I've used 5-ounce leather for this because it shows up better on camera. Usually I would use about 3-ounce leather. This is one of the ways that you would usually skive one of these pockets. You can see skive here, here, and here, and what that does is it reduces bulk. The other way that you can do it is you can take your French edger and skive this entire thing, leaving only sort of a line here, so that when you overlap your pockets, the only thing that's full thickness is this strip right there. This is the only thing. Everything else is going to be skived down thin. This isn't the sharpest because I don't use these much, but I'll show you roughly what it looks like. Now, this doesn't matter because I'm going to cut this diagonally with this style anyway. So when I do this style, I usually will do an angled pocket like this on each side. We have all the thickness removed from our center here, and then I'm going to go through and I call it just zeroing out the bottom. So there's a nice transition for when our pocket overlaps. There's no little bump at the end there. There we go. So you can see we've removed, and this is not the best job, but you would do this. This is a bit technical and in the weeds. You would make sure that this is nice and smooth. Now when these overlap, you see now that we have a nice downward slope. So when we put our other pocket on top, this is skived down to pretty much nothing, and it's nice and thin. Otherwise, you have full thickness and you have layers and layers building up. If you do 4 pockets, you ended up with even at 3 ounces, 12 ounces of leather at this little center section. I've been doing pockets a little bit different lately, and I wanted to share them with you because they're a little bit more simple. To me, after 20 years of doing these T-pockets, they make a lot more sense, and they're kind of fun. So I'm not saying you need to switch. I'm not switching fully. Every different wallet has its point. Like I do long wallets with the T-pocket still. These I've been doing card wallets with and snap wallets and stuff. But I wanted to show you how I do this. This is just, I guess you would just call it a triangle pocket. And what it does is it acts very similar to a T-pocket, just as strong, but it takes much less time to skive. You can be much more accurate, and instead of having this joint right here, which sometimes you get a stitch that lands right in the middle there and it'll pull things apart, or over time someone will put a ton of cards in here and you can kind of see the space in between, which would be, there will be a little space could open up and you have to restitch it, right? Which would be, if we look at this wallet right in here, no, these are super tight, but if this was used for 10 years and it came in for a restitch, oftentimes you would see a little gap right there. It's not super unsightly, but it just looks kind of not as great as it could. So I've been making wallets like this lately, and I wanted to show you how, because the first thing you'll notice is cutting the pocket is much more simple. The shape itself saves a ton of time because it's just a triangle. There's no little angled cuts. And I like that there's no dead stops and this is all has to do with like 20, 30 years longevity. If you make a wallet out of leather and you saddle stitch it, it's going to last no matter what the craft looks like, right? Just the materials will just last. If I'm cutting this out, I have to do a cut here, and then I have to do a cut here. Now, on the surface, it might not look like I'm overcutting, but on the backside, there's no possible way to make that cut perfect every single time over hundreds of wallets. You're always going to have a little cut beyond on one of the sides, unless you die cut. Now, I die cut these, so that's not an issue. But if you don't want to invest in cutting dies and presses and stuff just for a pocket die, this is a great way to do it. So how do we do it? Well, the first thing is you'll see the difference in our shapes here. We're going to still get sort of our triangular shape. I know it's not an actual triangle, but a cut off triangle. But we're not going to cut our angles. We're going to leave them whole. The next step, whereas these you really don't need to skive if you don't want to. Skiving is necessary with this design, but it's a little more simple. First thing I'm going to do with my pocket here is I'm going to get some straight lines going. These are going to be some skive lines. Now, the most important thing is we don't want our skive line to go all the way to this corner. We want it to land about halfway. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sharpen my skiving knife a bit. Just because I'm using really thick, dry veg tan from the scrap bin to show you, and it is not known for being the easiest to skive through. The skiving is much more simple. I'm going to start at one end. I'm going to go down. Boom. One straight shot. No angles, no getting, it just takes much less time. I'm going to go like that, and then I'm going to follow up, and then you might have to do a backhand skive, which I would suggest learning. Makes life very easy. There we go. Now, if we want to go further than that, I'm not going to use my French edger. I am just going to simply flat skive this entire pocket. And there we go. And that's it. That's our pocket ready to install. I've put some glue down. This is going to be, pretend this is my pocket bank. All I'm going to do is glue down my first pocket. So right here, our pocket will go in. Next thing I'm going to do, I've taken a scratch awl and I've marked how much of my pocket I want as a reveal. The important thing is, what I don't want is that reveal to go all the way to this corner. I want about a 1/4 inch, 1/8 of an inch above it. That way, we can go in with our glue. We can glue for our next pocket. And we're actually going to glue on top of the pocket we just put down, just that little corner there. And of course, if you were making a real pocket bank, you would stitch the bottom so the cards don't fall through. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some glue on the tabs of my second card pocket. And we'll let that dry. And once we have this glue dried, we're going to take our second pocket here, and I'm going to lay it right on top. So instead of our T pockets, which butt up against each other, like that, I'm going to layer the full thickness of the top of the card pocket that we made with the fully skived down part, so that we don't have they're not butting up, they're actually overlapping. Just like that. And now I'm just going to do a quick sew. So you would do your main pocket over the bottom or whatever you want. You would sew this down. Again, because this is just an example, I'm not going to fully flesh this whole thing out. But the nice thing is this then allows you to make a nice flush cut. And you are ready to stitch. I'm going to use a 3.85 stitching chisel. So ideally, I would want my stitching chisel to do something like this, because this would be a seam, right? So I would want to be on either side of that seam. With this overlap method, I can butt that right up against my next pocket. I don't have to worry about splitting any seams and the thread pulling these apart over time. So the nice thing is you can use, so that was a 3.85 stitching iron, and you can see how nice it looks. Let's take a 5mm stitching iron and do the same thing. Even though we have two separate stitch lines with separate spacing, we still have our stitching holes lining up right on top of and below the start of our pockets. We're not splitting any of this. These would be splitting if they were a normal T-pocket. So we would go ahead and stitch all this up, and let's see what it looks like. I have a finished wallet here. I'll show you what it looks like and why I've been leaning more towards this style on wallets. I really just like it a little bit better for all of the things that we've talked about. It's easier to do in my opinion. The overlapping, you can see here, this overlapping will look really nice for a long time. You don't have to worry about those seams splitting. It's just another way to kind of future-proof the piece. We know how to stitch, we know how to use good leather. It's going to last forever. You might as well make every seam as solid as you possibly can. And you can see here what you end up with. You have all of your layers, and they're almost like waves. So you have the full thickness, and then this drops down, and you have a tiny little bit of the bottom pocket and the top pocket, full thickness. Then it drops down, and your thickness of the pocket on top comes on top of you. But you have, I used about a 1/4 inch, but you can use 1/8 of an inch, as much overlap as you want underneath, as long as you skive it down nice and thin. And that is what's going to get you not only this nice effect, and it's true these sit a little proud. It's not like the T-pocket where everything, if we look at a T-pocket here, let's see. So here's a T-pocket, and you can see everything sits super level. And you could skive to make this style level as well. I think that's more of a French style actually. But I don't know, I just tend to be favoring these lately, and I figured I would share. So that's going to be it for this video. Let me know what you think. Do you ever try pockets like this? What's your favorite style pocket? It was fun kind of diving into a little skill. We haven't done that in a while. And thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.